Last year, Danny Calloway started off his 2017 bow season early with sticking a giant swamp buck with his dead ringer broadhead.
And finally got one on the ground, and it's the one I've been after, and I'll gladly take him home. He's been rubbing, he's still got blood around his bases, a little bit of velvet, but he is a gorgeous buck.
Danny later that season would have another opportunity at a Maryland Giant. Only this time, Danny would miss this buck at 40 yards.
Pin on him and shot, and it went just under his belly line. Unbelievable.
Shrugging off his miss, Danny would end his season by taking an old mature management buck with his expedition bow.
I'll clean up these management deer all day long. You know, you can't always come out in the woods and kill big giant deer. I'd love to. I haven't seen any this year. I killed the best buck I've seen this year so far early in the year, and this old fella here showed up tonight, and man, I had to let him have it.
I always look forward to the episode with Danny Calloway.
Danny's had a tough season this year. He's had a couple of misses, and he's been self-filming, which is super hard to do.
He eats, sleeps, and breathes deer hunting and anything to do with deer, and he does it year-round.
He is just as in tune and hunting as hard on day one as he is on the last day of season, and I'm sure this is going to be one fun ride.
For Danny Calloway, his pursuit of a mature whitetail never stops. Once one season ends, another one begins for Danny and these swamp monsters. Everything revolves around the food that he provides all year.
Danny works hard, there's no doubt. He scouts hard, he inventories hard, but he feeds his deer too. He feeds all his deer. You have to feed these deer in this nasty swamp, big timber, gnarly mess where these deer live, and they're extremely hunted hard. They're high pressure hunted areas. A lot of his places are small tracks. I mean, a lot of these deer are really reclusive, so he has to work hard. He has to draw them in. He likes to get his deer on a supplement program in the summer, and he just keeps pounding them with food to keep them coming in. We did it last year with Monster Meal. He's doing the same thing this year. Hey, it should work just as good as it did last year.
Last season, Danny would start implementing Monster Meal into his supplemental feed program, and his results in just 1 year of feeding these deer would speak for itself with a buck he calls Ward's buck.
We're super deep back in this swamp, and Danny's been feeding Monster Meal all year long to these deer. And
Yeah, he was basically a four-pointer last year with no brows and no threes. And that's what he put on in a year.
wow.
For the past few years, Danny Calloway's Maryland bow season starts with the arrival of one of the Red Rising guys seeking out one of the swamp ninjas. This year, Chris Ward would take his turn in the Lone Wolf tree stand and would be the first to let a victory arrow fly.
We just can't say enough about Danny and Melissa Calloway. It's just a great time every time I come. He's a big buck killer.
He started when it was literally 95 degrees in September. It is now November, and he still hasn't punched a tag. I promise you, there is not a guy on the planet anymore just has that taste in his mouth wanting to launch an arrow than Danny. He's got some orange on. Hey, the orange guys are out with the gun slinging. Danny is a hardcore bow hunter as you will ever meet, and today was going to be his day.
That dude's coming. He's coming with that dude right here. Here he comes. Here he comes. I thought that was gonna be a slam dunk. That's that giant, big, old, mature 6-pointer. I just got pictures of him the other day. He's a huge body. I'd love to get rid of that deer. I'd love to shoot him. But there's another buck in here somewhere. Because he keeps snort-wheezing at him.
Make sure you subscribe and like the page. On top of that, make sure you click the little notification bell. That way you'll be one of the first ones to know when a new video drops.
It's the middle of Maryland's bow season, and Danny Calloway has just had an encounter with an old 6-point that he would love to get out of the area. But having to play the role of cameraman and hunter has cost him his chance at taking this buck.
I thought that was gonna be a slam dunk. That's that giant, big, old, mature 6-pointer.
Danny this year had a lot of really good bucks doing some things for him consistently. And what you just saw was the culmination of a lot of hard hunting. I mean, he's got a big deer in his roundhouse and he can't get it done. But what you have to remember, one of his biggest pitfalls is he self-films. And I'm telling you, if you've never self-filmed before, it is the hardest thing to do and get it done consistently year after year, is try to kill mature deer and self-film. I've done it a few times, and I have also made as many mistakes as I have succeeded. And 9 times out of 10, it's just simply when you're ready to kill, the deer moves or something, and it's not like you got somebody to move the camera. You got to try to move it and get on him. And unfortunately, the law of averages has caught Danny, and that stinks because that was one beautiful buck.
Man, I love a big mature deer. And that deer there is a dinosaur. Giant, old mature buck. But all we can do is sit here and wait and see.
Usually I'm used to Danny having a deer on the ground by, mid-October, early November, and he just kept saying, man, I don't know what's going on this year. I'm getting pictures of big bucks, I just can't get them in. And it's just, sometimes you're gonna have those years.
Having a gut feeling that this buck could possibly come back, Danny Calloway decides to stick it out a little longer in the low wolf. 15 minutes later,
I just laid the hammer down on a stud, a beautiful deer, man. I come in here and pulled cards the other day, and I had a giant stud of a body, and I call him a 6-pointer. I don't even know if he has brow tine. He might be a 4-pointer, but I don't care. He is beyond mature. He is a dinosaur. And I heard a deer over my shoulder this morning, and I turned around and looked, and I saw a dove. And then I heard something behind her, and I looked, and I saw this deer coming. I said, that's the big 6-pointer. Man, I got pumped. I got several good deer in here, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I will take age over inches any day of the week. There's a beautiful 9-pointer coming in here, and I would rather you cut my arm off than me shoot a 3-year-old buck on purpose.
I'm in Kansas hunting. I just killed a deer called Crunk that we were after. We get a picture from Danny. Holy crap, congrats. He just killed a giant in Maryland.
I tell you, this old boy stinks. He is rutted up. He had his doe. He was making scrapes. Good Lord, look at the body on this old deer. Oh man. Look at the head. Big old mature buck. And you've probably heard me say it 1,000 times. I would rather kill a giant old mature deer than to shoot any gorgeous 3-year-old. Look at that cool thing in the front there that kicks down. Man, what a gorgeous deer. Big old body on him. It's been a rough year this year again. I've got some good deer on camera, had some good encounters this year. Either I'm not there and they're there, or vice versa. Look at the Roman nose on that big boy there. He is an absolute pig of an old deer.
We need you to support us, guys. So go over, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And every time we post something, you're going to get that little bell going off, and you'll know instantly that you can go over and watch it and catch what's going on.
Back in Maryland, Danny Calloway has just put down his first buck of the season. An old mature 6-point that Danny was looking to shoot ever since he got a Browning trail camera photo of him earlier in the season.
About 4 days ago, and he had run off every deer that was using in here, every buck. And it ain't no wonder. Look at the neck and the head on this deer. He's been around a while. Absolute gorgeous old buck. And I'm tickled to death with him.
Again, here we are. It's late season, self-filming. Danny's had some incredible encounters. He's killed a nice buck this year, and you know, he's the kind of guy that he hunts every single phase. And if there's one thing I can tell you, is as time goes on through the winter, you know, deer are a slave to their stomach. And you know, Danny's no different. He hunts just like everybody else hunts in the Midwest or wherever. You're waiting on those cold fronts, and you get into that time of year, like now, and you got super cold temperatures, snow on the ground. Deer are a slave to that stomach, and I promise you, he keeps feeding. And it was one of those nights he texted me, he said, man, I think tonight's the night. And sure enough, he was in for a show.
I'm in Worcester County. I'm hunting on one of Randy's farms. And we're hoping that the old Big 8 shows up tonight. He was on camera during shooting like last night and the night before. It's late season. The wind's iffy, okay, but I think we're all right. Same wind we had last year. And maybe we'll get lucky. I'm hoping we get lucky. Cool little setup we got here. Not a lot of cover, but as long as I'm not doing jumping jacks, I should be all right.
ahead, subscribe to our channel, like it. You're gonna get that little notification bell. It's gonna go off, let you know when something new hits. Follow, subscribe. Happy hunting this fall. We love everybody. Thank you again.
Danny Calloway's season has taken him all the way to the cold weather of January before getting another opportunity at one of the Maryland Giants. Taking his time and waiting for the right moment, Danny is now only seconds away from letting another victory arrow fly this season.
I just smoked a giant.
And I'm gonna tell you what, I am super pumped. I'm leaving for the ATA show, the archery trade show. I'm leaving in 2 days, and it has been a rough season. I have had multiple encounters with multiple deer. The camera has saved them all, and I just took my time tonight and let one rip and smoked a stud, man, and he is down right over there. I don't know exactly where, but he's right here in these gums. He didn't go far. That dead ringer ate him up, man.
It is late season. There's snow on the ground. Most people have hung up their bows, put their guns up, completely quit, but not Danny. He's still out. He just got it done on another Maryland Giant.
Hey, my hat's off. When you can make a perfect shot on a mature whitetail, even self-film it, and then manage to get back on the deer as he's running off, I mean, you are at that elite level when it comes to filming. I'm telling you, there's not a lot of people across the country that do it. Danny's awesome at it, and you know, I wouldn't expect any less, and I can't wait to see what he does next year.
Deer track here, right here. Little Addie, my daughter. What do you think? You excited? That's what cut right through him, like a chainsaw, cutting through a piece of butter. Look right there on the other side.
There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood.
Well, I found him.
You found him.
He's over there.
Good job. Give me 5. Come over here with me.
It's very smooth.
It's very smooth. Well, we made an executive decision tonight. Randy wanted me to come out here and hunt. We had a real big wide 8 that I've been trying to kill last year, this exact same week last year, right before ATA show. And he said, man, I got a couple good bucks using there. Look at that Roman nose on that big old boy. He is big, ain't he? And he told me, he said, there's a couple good bucks. He said, I got one down there that's injured. And this actually wasn't a deer that was injured, but this deer's obviously he's been shot or gored or something. But man, look at that buck. Is he not awesome, Addie?
He is awesome.
I'm tickled to death with him.
Like always, works and works and works until he gets it done. He was hunting as hard the last day of the year as he was the first day of the year, and he was in the snow. The buck came out that he was after, and in true Danny fashion, he got it done.
Share something with you. We just had a rifle season in a day ago. This is pretty disturbing to me. It's disgusting. The mentality of some hunters and what gives hunters a bad name. Now I hunt probably about a quarter mile down the road here, and I want to show you something. You see that there? That deer has been shot. You see that wound on his leg? I know that deer. It was a buck that I had on camera all year, a beautiful 135-inch 3-year-old. And of course, someone shot him, field dressed him, and brought him out here and dumped him on the side of the road. Regardless if this deer was any good, because he was shot and had an infection or something like that, why discard him out here on the side of the road? Look, I'm right on the side of a road. There's houses right there. All these people have to come by here and look at this deer. And what's that say about hunters? It's just more ammunition for people with a problem. Plus the jerk or idiot who shot him didn't take any meat from him at all. And like I said, he might have had something wrong with it, but he looked pretty fat to me. And until about a week ago, I had that deer on camera, and he had shed one side from his injury. Man, it's just frustrating, you know?